Welcome to June 2026, and we hope you are checking out the Microsoft Build Conference, either in person or online. It's happening this week. You can go over to build.microsoft.com to get all the information there, especially if you're a developer. You definitely want to go check that out. Before we get into all the great Microsoft Fabric updates, I want to remind you also of the upcoming Microsoft Fabric and SQL Community Conference going on in Barcelona in September 2026. Scan the QR code on the screen to learn more about it and register. It's a great opportunity to learn new things, connect with the community, and soak in all of that amazing Fabric and SQL knowledge. Register with the code FABCMTY200 or SQLCMTY200 to save €200. We hope to see you there. Now let's pivot to the June 2026 updates. You'll see another QR code on the screen. Scan that to jump straight into the June 2026 Fabric Update blog. All the details are there, plus links out to documentation to learn even more and to get your hands on these features. I'm Adam Saxton, and this is the Microsoft Fabric Update for June 2026. Let's get started. This month's GA releases continue to strengthen Fabric for enterprise deployment, especially in the areas of developer readiness, operational reliability, and real-time analytics. Teams can now use Fabric Git integration with GitHub Enterprise Cloud and data residency, helping organizations meet geographic and compliance requirements while supporting modern source control workflows. On the data movement side, CDC and copy job for SQL-based sources is now generally available, making incremental replication easier to implement without all of that custom logic. We're also seeing broader production readiness in real-time analytics and event ingestion. The AI-powered real-time dashboards experience is now generally available, providing a simpler way to create visuals using natural language while still allowing manual refinement. At the same time, Apache Kafka and Azure Service Bus source connectors and Eventstream have reached general availability, offering production-ready streaming options. In Data Factory, the Refresh SQL endpoint activity is now generally available, making it easier to keep SQL analytics layers current as part of orchestration workflows. Now, let's look at what's in preview. One key theme this month is smarter data management and governance. In OneLake, storage tiers and lifecycle management help reduce costs by automatically moving files across tiers based on lifecycle rules. There's also item size reporting, giving Workspace administrators clear visibility into storage usage. Another major theme is AI-assisted development and data interaction. In Fabric Data Agents, improvements include creator experiences, NL to SQL accuracy enhancements, multi-source query routing, preview runtime capabilities, the code interpreter tool, and upcoming visualization support. These updates aim to make agents more effective for real-world analysis scenarios. We're also seeing strong momentum in data warehousing and deployment workflows. Highlights include GPU-accelerated warehousing, CI/CD support for SQL Analytics endpoints, pre- and post-deployment scripts, performance improvements, alter column, data warehouse monitor, enhanced metadata sync, configurable retention, and time travel support. And across real-time intelligence and Data Factory, notable previews include time series visualizations, shared Copilot insights, live refresh for dashboards, Eventstream observability, business events enhancements, and pipeline updates such as approval activity, refresh materialized lake views, modern pipeline nodes, conditional retries, and variable library integration. So many things. Fabric Apps is a new way to build and run data-powered applications directly inside of Microsoft Fabric, with the core infrastructure already built in for you. Databases, authentication, hosting, and server connections to your Fabric data are ready from day one, so developers can focus on building the app experience instead of stitching together all of those back-end services, which can be hard sometimes. It's just ready to go. That's the overview. There was a lot, I know, but the best way to understand these updates is to see them in action, and we've got a few demos for you, so let's roll the demos.
In this demo, I'm going to show you how to use the approval activity. This activity brings human-in-the-loop workflows directly into the pipeline, so that way orchestration and governance can live in one place. I'm starting with the scenario for inventory replenishment. We first have our lookup activity. It queries our inventory source for the current quantity of a stock item. The output gives me a quantity, and I can use that in the expressions for my next activity. Next, the if activity checks if the quantity is less than or equal to 0. If not, the pipeline just ends. There's nothing to order because there's enough stock. If yes, we'll request an approval. So here's the approval activity. I can choose the type of approval I want to send out. I can either send a Teams message, a custom endpoint, which operates like a webhook, or in this case, I want to choose Office 365, which is basically an email. So I configured my connection. I put in a specific request and then a description that I parameterized based on the information I have from my previous activities. And also I put in an approver. In this case, I put myself so that way I can show you the approver experience as well. So now I'm going to save and run my pipeline. You'll notice that the approval activity will say that it's in progress, and this is a great time for me to switch over to the point of view of the approver experience. As an approver, you'll receive the following email stating the request and request details. If you click the link, you'll be navigated here to the Monitoring Hub Pipelines experience for that specific pipeline. Inside of the Review tab, you can see the approval activity and either approve or reject the activity. If I approve the activity, the approval activity will succeed and it will continue the flow of what I set the success flow to be. Now, if I had clicked reject as the approver in the Review tab experience, I would have gotten a rejection email based off my flow here saying that my inventory replenishment request was rejected. The approval activity becomes our control point. No side channels, no manual coordination needed.
Ever wonder how much data is flowing through your event stream? Or what the health of your event stream component look like? Now you can see it all in one place, with a clear and consistent view across your entire pipeline. We're excited to introduce Eventstream Observability through Workspace monitoring, giving you a centralized way to track data volume, component health, and errors across your streaming pipelines. With a single toggle and minimal configuration, monitoring is instantly enabled. Just turn it on in your Workspace settings, and 3 purpose-built tables are automatically created in your monitoring event house, making it easy to query, analyze, and build insights in seconds. Let's say I want to understand what's happening across my event stream components. I just go to Explore Data, and instead of writing queries, I can use AI to do the heavy lifting. I can ask, what's the current state of my event stream nodes? And within seconds, it returns a complete snapshot of node health, status, and activity across my entire workspace. It's easy, intuitive, and gives me what I need without digging through each component. From there, I can go deeper. Maybe I want to understand trends or investigate issues. I can explore other tables just as easily. I might ask, give me a summary or visualization of errors in my event streams. Copilot will generate a breakdown, often with a chart or visual, so I can quickly spot patterns or spikes in failures. And once I find something useful, I don't have to redo the work. I can save any of these results directly to a dashboard, creating a real-time view of my streaming pipelines. This is a dashboard I had built earlier to bring all of this together. At a high level, this gives me a quick snapshot of my entire workspace, including how many event streams I have running. I can monitor throughput in real time, along with incoming and outgoing events and the overall data volume flowing through my event streams. This gives me a clear view into how my streams are performing at any given moment. On top of that, I can track watermark delay to identify any latency in processing and review health insights to quickly spot if anything needs attention. All of this comes together in a single, centralized view, making it easy to monitor, analyze, and act on my streaming data.
The Rayfin SDK makes it easy to build out enterprise-ready apps in Fabric in just a few minutes. Agentic development from the IDE, which you see here, is increasingly common, but there still tends to be a bottleneck, the backend. Setting up a database or wiring up auth is where vibe coding projects stall, and where Rayfin comes in. What you're seeing here is the result of a single command from the Rayfin CLI. I've picked a blank app template and given it a name, and now Rayfin is setting up the whole project for me. Behind the scenes, Fabric will provision the foundational resources, from a dedicated app artifact to a linked SQL database to a static hosting URL. The app will be live in seconds, with my entire backend set up and scaffolded. Then I can turn to GitHub Copilot to build out the interface of my dreams. I'll describe what I want in natural language, a delivery app with certain custom parameters, and Copilot will generate the data schema, the UI components, the pages, and the flows, all for me, wired up in code I can inspect and edit. The result is a fully functional delivery app in Fabric, which I'm seeing here. Drivers can log deliveries with photos, and customers can review orders on tablets and sign to confirm receipt. The whole exchange is captured end to end. And because Fabric provides the backend, there's no separation between the app I just built and the enterprise platform where operational data lands. In my governed workspace, I can see that app artifact alongside its linked Fabric SQL database. Here's the data from that transaction starting to flow straight in. And in the OneLake catalog, my new app sits right alongside every other governed asset across the business. An enterprise-ready app built in minutes, something my team can use on day one thanks to apps in Fabric.
Here we are in Fabric DW, where I can quickly tell that query acceleration is off. I can go ahead and jump into Workspace settings, and under Data Warehouse is Query Acceleration. I can turn it on, and from here, I can jump right back into the Fabric DW and start using it. I'm given a teaching bubble that explains to me that it's on, and all I have to do is simply run a query to see it in action. Here we are, running an accelerated query. Now, when I jump into monitoring, inside query history, I get the visibility that I need to understand which queries were accelerated and which ones were not. If I jump into frequently run queries, I can then from here understand for these frequent queries, how many of the query runs were actually accelerated and how many were not. And when I jump right back into the Fabric DW, I can click on query acceleration at the bottom and get some stats. It looks like over the last 30 days, roughly 89% of my queries were accelerated. We're so excited to get this capability into your hands and start driving faster insights for your business.
Today, we will show how dbt job activity orchestrates dbt transformations with parameters, configurations, and notifications in one pipeline. Here is our pipeline. We start by adding a copy job activity that ingests the load data into our warehouse. Next, I add a dbt job activity. The warehouse we just loaded with copy job is configured as adapter, so dbt runs transformation and data modeling directly on our warehouse. I can easily select which dbt job to run. Every dbt setting supports dynamic content. For example, I want to select only models that don't contain text. I type my request in plain language, and it generates a dynamic expression for me. I can also configure what to exclude, whether to use the full refresh, and more. After dbt job completes, I want to know the result immediately. I connect an Outlook activity and Teams activity so notification will be shared with me. Let's run a pipeline. I'm prompted to enter parameter values for dbt model. I fill them in and kick it off. All activities complete successfully. We had just finished a full ETL workflow with parameters, data ingested by copy job, transformed by dbt job, and results sent to Outlook and Teams.
If you have any questions about any of these features, leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. For the full list of updates, check out the monthly update blog and scan that QR code for all of the information. And to stay current with Microsoft Fabric, be sure to follow the latest updates and community resources, and you can join us over at the community site. Thanks for watching, keep being awesome, and we'll see you in the next video.